Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the Avalanche versus the Blues prediction. I was going to post this last night, but really, you can't really predict the lineups with everything that's going on. I saw one of the Avs page I follow. It's pretty much the Colorado Eagles, which is our AHL team, versus the St. Louis Blues tonight, because we have a lot of injuries and COVID situations, which I'm glad is happening towards the beginning of the year rather than towards the end when we're making the playoff push and in the playoffs. So it's better to happen at the beginning of the season, but still it sucks. Would rather just have it not happen at all. As always, I want to remind you that Jesus is King, and I just pray that you give your life to Him. He has a plan and a purpose for you, and I truly believe He is having me make this message to reach out to somebody out there, and I hope you give your life to Him and just believe that He died on the cross for your sins, and you can spend eternity with Jesus, God, me, everyone who's a Christian, in heaven, the new earth. That's just my message, and let's jump into this thing. So starting off with the injuries, and by the way, I'm sorry if you can hear my dog eating in the background. She just decided she wanted her breakfast. So Valeri Nichushkin is out week to week with an upper body injury. That is a huge blow, especially with all the other injuries going on. Nichushkin I think he's a huge part of our offense. I do think he's an underrated member of this team, but it just sucks to see him out. Now, Alex Newhook was sent down to the Colorado Eagles, and they said this was to help with his development. But the interesting thing for me was I don't understand why Alex Newhook was the one being sent down. If it was anyone who was being sent down to have their development be helped, I figured it probably would have been Sampo Ranta. But it's Alex Newhook, which I think that's a mistake after one game, especially with all these injuries being had. I would love to see Alex Newhook play tonight, but I don't think that's going to happen with him being sent down. And in his place, we have called up Jason Megna, Stefan Mateo, and Dylan Sekura. Gabriel Landeskog was suspended for his hit on Kirby Dach for 2 games. So this game and then the Capitals game, the captain will be out. It's deserved. It's a deserved suspension. He shouldn't have hit Kirby Dach when he was down on his knees. It was happening so fast, though. I don't think it was intent to injure. I just think it was a bad hit. But Landeskog will be out, and it sucks because Nathan MacKinnon is still out with COVID. So Landeskog and McKinnon are out. So we're going to be relying on Rantanen for offense tonight. I do think so, and Cale Makar, of course. And then Nathan MacKinnon, like I said, still has COVID. And earlier today, it was reported that Jack Johnson has tested positive for COVID. So that is a hit on the blue line. And with all these injuries, here's what the current roster and lineups look like. I might have missed some because this is the projected roster. I don't know if it's the official roster has come out at the time of recording this, but here goes nothing. So yeah. It looks strange, doesn't it? Obviously, the top line, we have Kadri, who's being bumped up to the first-line center, which I'm fine with McKinnon being out. Burakovsky on the first line, which I like. I think Burakovsky is a really good player in the NHL, so I'm okay with him on the first line. And Rantanen. I don't think this is a bad first line at all. Obviously, it's a step down from having McKinnon and Landeskog on that line, but, Rantanen, Kadri, Burakovsky, I don't think that's a terrible line. And then Kemper is centering Tyson Jost and Sampo Ranta, which I think is interesting. But I like Sampo Ranta in the top 6. I'm excited to see what he can do. I want to see how he'll be able to produce with him being on the second line and getting probably a lot of playing time. Then the third line is Jason Megna, Darren Helm, and Logan O'Connor, which I don't think is a terrible line. I think O'Connor is probably the best player on that line. And then the fourth line, you can see there's only 2 players there, and that's Sekura and Mateu. I think they're going to probably be doing a rotational center. So either, if I were to guess, I would just guess that maybe Confer, Magna, or Jost would help center this line. But that's just me. I don't know officially. I'm not Jared Bednar. I don't have any inside information. This is just the lines that we've been given. And tonight's line against the St. Louis Blues, their top line, Ryan O'Reilly, Brandon Saad, David Perron. That's a really good line. I'm sad that Saad left us for the Blues, but whatever. Then the second line is also a really good line. Braden Shen, Jordan Kyrou, and Pavel Buchnevich. I really like Pavel Buchnevich. I think that's an underrated move this offseason. And then on their third line, they got Thomas, James Neal, Vladimir Tarasenko, which is crazy to think how much Tarasenko has regressed from a few years ago, that he's on the third line. And then there's Bozak, Neighbors, and Barbashev, which I think is a pretty solid fourth line. So, we got our work cut out for us on with their forwards. And here is our defensive pairings: Girard and Makar. Obviously, that's the easy one to pair. And then Bowen Byram and Eric Johnson as a second pair. I like that pairing. I think Bowen Byram and Eric Johnson could be a good combo. And then the third defensive pairing is one I don't feel super confident in, and that's Curtis McDermott and Ryan Murray. So we'll have to see how well that happens. But I do believe in this defensive pairing. And Jared Bednar likes to mix things up, but I do believe that our defensive pairing is still pretty solid. Obviously, instead of McDermott, I'd rather have McDonald. But, I still think that's a weird a weird choice. I would have loved to have Jacob McDonald instead, but hey, I believe in McDermott. Let's see what he can do. And then the Blues defensive pairing is Scandella and Parayko, obviously, Torrey Krug, Falk, and Wallman and Bortuzzo. I think they also have a very solid defensive pairing, but we'll have to see if. Yeah, I'm nervous about this game with everyone being out. Then for the goalies, we have Darcy Kemper starting and Jonas Johansson as the backup. And then the Blues goalies, there's obviously Jordan Bennington, and I think it's Tyler Husso, I think is his first name. But I don't remember. It's Ville Husso. But yeah, let's jump into the matchup. So there's 4 things I'm grading. I just forgot to put one on this first slide. So the forwards, the defense, the goaltender, and then obviously my prediction. So starting out, for the forwards in this game, I'm giving it to the Blues. With McKinnon out, with Landeskog out, with Nichushkin out, with us sending Newhook down to the Colorado Eagles, I just think that the forward group is pretty weak. Obviously, I really like Kadri. I really like Burakovsky. I really like Tyson Jost. I want to see what Sampo Ranta can do. But right now, with all those injuries and a lot of our minor league and AHL players playing tonight, I got to give the advantage to the Blues and the forwards. For the defense, I am giving it to the Avalanche, and mainly because our blue line might be the best in the league. Obviously, Jack Johnson is out with COVID, unfortunately, but Cale Makar, Samuel Girard, 2 of the best. Cale Makar is just an offensive producer. Samuel Girard, I really like Samuel Girard. Bowen Byram looks fantastic. He finished with 2 points, a goal, and assist last game. Eric Johnson, obviously the Condor, the old vet. And then Ryan Murray and Curtis McDermott is where I'm a little bit nervous, but I do have to give the advantage to our defense because of Cale Makar, Samuel Girard, Bowen Byram, and shoot, you could even throw Eric Johnson into that list. Next up for the goaltenders tonight, and we're not going to talk about Ville Husso and Jonas Johansson. We're just going to do Darcy Kemper versus Jordan Bennington, and I'm giving the edge to Darcy Kemper tonight. before Darcy Kemper was traded to the Avs, this is probably pre-bubble. Before the bubble started, I think the season before, I always thought Darcy Kemper was a top 5, if not top 10 goalie. Now, we fast forward and we trade for him. I was pumped. I thought it was an upgrade right away. Of course, I love Grubauer, but I've always thought highly of Darcy Kemper, and I think he is one of the best in the league, and I much prefer him over Jordan Bennington, and that's why I'm giving him the edge tonight. Sorry if my voice sounds weird too. I'm still a little bit sick. And then my prediction for tonight is the Avs win 3-2. Yeah, I don't know why. I think we're gonna pull it through. I think with Darcy Kemper as the goaltender and our defense helping him out, I think it's gonna be a hard time for having the Blues score. I think we're going to just shut them down defensively. We're going to get some quick breaks offensively, and I think that we might be going to overtime here. I do think we're going to probably be going to overtime. I think on the Avs side, I think there's going to be a goal from Makar, Burakovsky, and then the OT winner for me is going to come from Mikko Rantanen. And then for the St. Louis Blues, I think David Perron is going to score one. And then, you know what? As much as I want to say Ryan O'Reilly, I'm saying Torrey Krug blasts one from the blue line and just gets through on a goalie screen from Ryan O'Reilly up in front. And that is my prediction for the Colorado Avalanche versus St. Louis Blues tonight. Lock it in. Make your bet. No, don't make your bets. But that's my prediction. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.